Nice to see so many people already.
Hello, good morning. Here is a 4 p.m.
Good morning to Korea.
Yeah. Good.
Cool. I can see Shinichi also. Hello, good morning. And yeah, hi. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Guten Morgen allerseits.
Morgen.
So. Zack. Zack. Kamera. So.
Einen schönen guten Morgen.
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 So, Carl, it's 9 o'clock now. Should we just start, or do you think there'll be a couple more people?
Let's wait 30 seconds, I would say, and then
Okay, 29,
let's start.
28. Oh, 27.
There's still people coming in, but
Okay.
yeah, I think we can start.
Fantastic. Let's just check if you can see now the RTW screen.
Yes, looks good.
Yes. Okay, so good morning, everybody. How nice is it to see so many people here? We have fantastic news for you. And let me just say now, this is going to be really comprehensive. try to cut it down to 20 minutes and leave some space for questions also within the half hour that we have scheduled for. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the next generation RTW meter. Nothing less. We'll learn about what it is, who it's for, and why it's different to both competition and what we've done before. So I'm Thomas, I'm product management, and I'm just going to give you a quick background of the vision we had with this product. We wanted to do a forward-looking design. We wanted to do something that's really suited for immersive audio and ready for all the channels. And we also wanted to do something that features some a neural engine that can do AI-powered capabilities. It is indeed actually a new perspective on metering. You will learn that this is something completely new. It's something that the world hasn't seen before within metering. So it's new. It's a new concept. It's a new way of thinking metering. One of the key features here, or one of the key thoughts that we have here, that it has to support the evolving workflows. Keywords, there are 3 keywords here: network, network, and network. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about TMX Core. Immersive, speech intelligent, and compliant. And let me show it to you right now. Ta-da-da! Here we go. It's basically a small unit around this size. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about exactly what it is. So it's our latest high-end performance broadcast and pro audio metering platform. AI-assisted tools, speech intelligibility, immersive metering, compliant with loudness standards for all over the world. It features a new, really cool thing that we call network display. It means that you can view the meters in any browser, anywhere on your local network. I'll get back to that later. It of course also has a network output, and a DisplayPort output, and is of course also network ready on the audio side with both then Ravenna and Dante ST2110 AES64 and what have we. Basically designed for modern workflows. Here's a photo of it. Really, you could say it's just a box, or it is indeed a box. So from the front side, it just has an activity LED. If we look at the back side, some of the stuff will be familiar to those of you who know our classic touch monitors, the TM7, TM9. The TM7, TM9, I will be naming them in this presentation as the classic touch monitor. So it has the USB outputs, high performance LAN for control, and it has a digital display output port, as well as GPIO. And then of course there's the audio interface. And talking about audio interface, we'll provide 4 different audio interfaces: Ravenna, Dante, AES plus AES, so 16 AES channels input, and we will also provide an analog options. Actually, these 4 input formats are the ones that we're basically selling with the classic touch monitors right now. So it makes totally sense that those are the 4 options that we will offer. But one thing is the box. What's really important is what's inside the box, the instruments as we call them. This is definitely the most comprehensive metering engine we've ever done. First of all, it features the instruments that you know, the reliable classic instruments built on the classic touch monitor. Levels, frequency, loudness compliance, phase issue detection, and so forth. I don't want to talk much more about them, just show you this small collage I have done here of the metering that you would probably already know if you know our classic touch monitors. Of course, it features more than this, but just this is kind of the essence of it. But I'd rather talk about the new stuff. So as I said at the beginning, we are mainly focusing on two new things: immersive metering and speech intelligibility. So for immersive metering, we of course support the formats that you know, Atmos and also beyond, 22.2 for Japan, Hasinichi, commonly used standards by broadcasters around the world. Our focus points within immersive metering will be spatial balance, relationship between multiple speakers or multiple channels, and phase issues. And then there's one important part that has something to do with LFE channels, which seems to be a growing issue if you look at the feedback that we get from customers. So let's look into the new stuff. The first new thing I want to show you is, or just talk about briefly, is the LFE bleed instrument. Basically, it is made for you to detect high frequencies in your LFE channel. High frequencies in the LFE channel is a growing problem because of different, you can say, different distribution channels, especially binaural, which is heavily affected if there is high frequencies in your LFE channel. Generally, high frequencies in LFE channels should be avoided, and that's why you see that the bar is red, no matter how much it detects. The next one is the matrix correlator. And correlation, the more channels you have, the more tricky it gets, right? The better the chances are that you have correlation issues or phase issues between channels. So we've built this basically a matrix correlator which maps out the channels in your setup. So any relationship between any channels in the setup is displayed in this meter. So that at a quick glance you can easily see if you have a problem in your mix. The next really cool thing is our Polar Scope, and the Polar Scope is kind of an extension of what you would know as a classic vector scope. A classic vector scope would show two channels, but we have, through research and through a brand new algorithm, made an instrument that will actually act like kind of a vector scope, but with immersive speaker formats. It's really cool. You can use it for watching the spatial coherence and detect also channel delay mismatches. Basically, look at where your focus points is in the mix. So 3 brand new instruments, specially designed for immersive mixes. The next one I want to talk about is the speech intelligibility, and it's a really hot topic within broadcast. There's a lot of challenge with speech intelligibility nowadays. In the old days, you know, the actors were educated in a theater and were speaking really clearly. So for television shows, if you watch a show that was done back in the 70s, you would be able to understand what they're saying. But nowadays, with different actors and with a lot of background noise and things that can kind of cover the dialogue, you get into the issue that people don't understand what the actors are saying, or the commentator, or whatever dialogue is in the mix. So there are severe end listener issues, and they do complain to the broadcasters all the time to a quite high degree. Within speech intelligibility now, that is a research field for itself, and I cannot get too much into the details, but we have to realize that right now we are at a point where there is no really common recommendation of how to measure and which numbers to go for. It's not like loudness. It's really like loudness. All the loudness discussions were like 20 years ago, before we had the loudness recommendations, where people were saying, yeah, we have a problem, but we need to figure out how to measure it and how to qualify it. We are really at that point now with speech intelligibility. We we have a lot of attention to this, of course, because if we can have a measurement that can show you a meaningful measurement of dialogue quality or speech intelligibility, then that would, of course, be very, very interesting for many broadcasters. So what we do is basically we are watching what's going on. We are participating in all kind of places where we can. And we are collecting the recommendations, and for now we are putting them into our loudness blog. As many of you know, we have a blog site at rtw.com, which basically adds up all the loudness standards around the world. We are adding speech intelligibility related recommendations for that loudness blog. And then we are actively working to get a common standardization or common measure for how to qualify this across the world, actually. Let me just give a couple of examples of how speech intelligibility or dialogue quality is measured. We have the Dolby Dialogue Intelligence, which is basically known as the one that guys like Netflix would use. We introduced that with our compact line of meters back in the spring. And the idea here is that you use dialogue as an anchor point for doing loudness normalization. Then we have the EBU R128 supplement number 4, which came out a year ago or something like that. It introduced LDR, which is loudness to dialogue ratio. So loudness, that would be the integrated program loudness to dialogue. So the idea here is that if you compare how loud the dialogue is up against what the program loudness is, you can kind of get an idea of the speech intelligibility. That said, there's a lot of pitfalls in that, of course, because you can have sections where you have absolutely clear dialogue and sections with no dialogue, and that can kind of, you can say, make that number a little bit unclear. But that's one take on it. Another one is BDR, which is background to dialogue ratio. Here, the loudness of the dialogue is compared to the loudness of the background at any given point in time. Typically, the dialogue is in the center channel, so it's quite simple actually, just comparing the center channel with the other channels and see what's the ratio between those, and you can get an idea of how good the speech intelligibility is. There are some, if you look at some of the specifications from some of the broadcasters, NAK in Norway, as I have here as an example, they say a minimum separation of 4 LU between dialogue and background is recommended. There are also other broadcasters, BBC, ARD, and then the International Standardization Organization, W3C, that has some recommendations with this number. The latest and greatest way to do speech intelligibility is developed by Fraunhofer, and they have made a technology. They call it the listening effort meter, and that is very different to the other ways to measure. It uses artificial intelligence, and it looks at the composite signal, and really it tries to understand the dialogue, and then it puts out a number saying how hard was it really to understand. I'll get back to our speech meter in a second. But let me just, before we go there, introduce another new meter, which is basically what we call the ratio instrument here. So the ratio instrument shows you 2 different measurements. It compares them, and then it shows the ratio or the difference between those 2 measurements. So this is perfect for things like LDR and BDR that I just talked about. So this instrument can clearly show both LDR, or it can show LDR and or BDR in a really nice view where you can easily detect if you have issues or if your audio is not compliant with the recommendations here. The ratio meter is, by the way, also able to compare different signals. So you can compare the loudness of a signal before downmix and after downmix, or before encoding, after the encoding, before compression, after compression, and stuff like that. So it's kind of a comparison instrument, really. It's suited for the dialogue stuff, but also other stuff. Back to the Fraunhofer stuff. Speech intelligibility instrument is basically an AI-driven instrument. It's based on the cooperation with Fraunhofer that we have had through the last 9 years. And basically, it gives you a real-time feedback of the dialogue, basically. How easy is it to understand the dialogue? What is the speech intelligibility level? That's actually what it does. It's really simple in the way that it displays its value, but the technology behind is really, really hardcore. It will be a license for TMX Core, and here it is. And as you can see, there are, like with a lot of the other measurements that we do, you have different options to show them. We have here added it to a chart, so you can look over the entire duration of your program where you have issues with speech intelligibility. We also have a bar, and we also have it as a number. So all of these measurements are available for speech intelligibility. So really, really cool stuff, new things that are only possible to do because we have this new TMX Core platform. The new TMX Core platform also features a few other really important updates. One of the updates is the support for Open Sound Control OSC. And we have made what we call the Action instrument, because the Action instrument also supports other formats than OSC. So basically, you can create a knob, and you can say this knob sends an OSC command. You can decide your size and position and color and stuff like that. It can trigger both TCP and UDP commands, and it can also send HTTP requests. So we cover a lot of the network control that is going on in modern broadcasts. Not only is the TMX Core able to send messages, it's also able to receive messages. So if you have some button on your CalReg console, and in case you can assign an OSC command to that, you can actually have a button to reset the loudness. You can also change presets on TMX Core and stuff like that. So all in all, this is part of us being optimizing our platform to integrate in modern broadcast workflows, including those that take place on consoles that we partner up with as OEM. Another small thing is a wall clock, also a requested feature. It has basically the possibility of different phases and stuff like that. A nice, cool addition to the package. So here it is. These are the new things that I've been talking about. All of this is new, not seen before, and part of TMX Core. Another thing I talked about at the beginning was the network display. And shortly spoken, you can basically keep your eyes on the audio from anywhere in your local network. It's a really fantastic feature, because it means that you can have not only a screen attached to your TMX Core, but actually the display of metering can take place anywhere in the facility, far away from where the physical box is. And you can not only have one, you can have several, you can call it instances, we call them screens, available, so that you with one box can actually have metering as though you had several boxes actually. It will be, of course, a license to the platform, but it's really a hardcore functionality. Just a practical thing, the device actually ships with a rack mount kit, so it can be built into a rack in the server room. It can also just be placed on the table in front of you or inside an OEM broadcast console. So who is it for? Well, let me just go quickly by this because time is running out. Broadcast live sports, music, news. We have post-production and cinema covered, and we have also installed sound covered, and of course many more. I also want to mention OEM broadcast consoles, and I can say that at IBC here, Calrec will show the TMX Core built into one of their consoles. You can go to the Calrec booth to watch it actually working inside a console. But because it has no screen, because it's so versatile with regards to connection, it is really interesting for OEMs also that can have RTW metering within their console and not worry about building in hardware screens and stuff like that. So of course, with the connections that it provides, it can connect into any console or any environment that you see. So that's about TMX Core. A quick word on what happens on the compact line, because we'll also show some new things on compact line. I've talked about them, so you just get the list here. The compact line, which means Touch Control 5, Touch Monitor 5, will also get the network display feature for one screen. It will be a license. It will also get OC. It will get the LFE bleed instrument, the ratio instrument, the BDR and LDR measurements, and the clock instrument. Pricing looks like this. There'll be a new price list coming up very soon. We hope to see you at IBC. We are at booth 8E75, and you'll be able to see TMX Core in action, and of course also the compact line. So it's going to be one of the biggest shows for RTW for many years, because we are now finally showing our new great next generation touch monitor. I cannot wait to show it to you, and I hope that I'll see you all at IBC. So that's actually the presentation for now. Carl, do we have any questions?
Not yet. At least I cannot see anything in the chat.
Okay, I went really fast through this presentation. We did a rehearsal yesterday, and yesterday it was double the time of now, so I got it in half. So I might have missed some points. So let me know, Carl, if I have that. And to the other guys, if you have any questions to any of it, let me just know that. I can say I had one question this morning.
I have one question.
Yeah, come.
Yeah, just a small question. You have shown the TMX Core box in front. What is the interface on the rear of the TMX console? That I haven't seen that.
You did see
the box.
So we have the box. Okay. So we have the box. We have the box here from the front. We have the box from the rear here. And then we have the 4 interfaces that we provide with the box. So it's all the audio over IP that you would need. So Ravenna, ST2110, AES67, and Dante, but also the more classical or the more classic AES 16 channels I/O and also analog, the digital analog card, which is still very popular actually. So that's what we
so
have
the
now.
connection to the screen is DP, DisplayPort only.
Yeah, the connection to the screen is DisplayPort, and of course, with a small converter cable, you can convert that into HDMI if you want. The advantage of this port is that it has a small locking mechanism, so you cannot accidentally pull out the cable. So the choice of port is more a practical thing, actually. But of course, it will send out information through HDMI also, if you want that.
Right.
Okay,
Thanks.
so we have some more questions. So Matthew asks, if not using OC, is it operated with a mouse?
Yes,
or how
you can
do you
operate
operate the unit?
You can, so if you go to Calrac at the IBC booth, you can see that they have integrated a touch display with it. You can also do that, but you can also just attach a mouse or a trackpad and a keyboard and stuff like that. And I did skip that. I did skip that slide. But it has browser control. So really the way you operate it would be, if not on the screen that it's attached, if you don't have a screen attached, but only use the network display option, which you can, you would operate it through your network browser, like you would set up a Compact Line instrument. So you have the view editor that you know from Compact Line, where you can design your own screens and stuff like that, and all that, and create presets, store them on the device, etc. All that happens in the network browser, where you of course have mouse and keyboard attached.
So yes, I will share the presentation after the call with everyone that was in the call. I think that makes sense. So you can go through it again.
I want to say just one thing, Carl. If you guys look at this one, this QR code here is actually the QR code to the product page. So you'll have it and the product page right now is confidential. We are still fiddling the last details, but it's up and running, and you can have access to it. The product page basically has the information that I had on this presentation and more information than what you had here. So I would recommend that perhaps instead of distributing the presentation or doing both, you could go to the TMX Core product page right now. Actually, it's open for access.
Well.
So next question, sales related question, upgrades for TM series to TMX Core in discussion. Yes, I think I can understand that we're talking about exchange deals, etc. Yes, of course. I mean, if customers are already using the TM series, TMX Core is a solution for the future. And please reach out to me if you have specific needs, and we'll make a deal work, of course. Yeah, for sure. Then Pat asks, are the new boxes NMOS enabled?
Yep.
Short answer. What is the availability of TMX Core? Now we're getting into very interesting questions. Should I answer that, Thomas? Or would you?
I think you should answer that, because you know it as well as I do.
So as Thomas said, I mean, you can pre-order now, and we will deliver the first units to one of our OEM customers this year. But for you guys, we will deliver the first units to dealers and distributors in January 2026. So feel free to pre-order now to be the first in line to receive new TMX Core unit. Okay, more questions. Are there plans to offer a solution that provides these measurement tools for file analysis?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I can say no immediate plans for that, but we had in the previous time a batch analyzer, which could be extended as a software solution for the TMX Core. It is a relevant question. We see though that most of the places that our meters are placed in right now, there would be in live broadcast and live events, news, sports, events kind of things. So it's very much a live approach that we have to it. That's also why we care so much about the latency and stuff like that. Going into the batch area would be interesting, but we need to investigate it a little bit more, whether the need is there. The need is there, but we also need to look at the competition. There are some really nice solutions out there. And with the batch thing, we often run into people requesting as a showstopper the ability to analyze video files also. And that means that we as a company also need to some extent at least, to go into video, at least to be able to open and analyze the video, open and detach the audio from the video and stuff like that. It's technical stuff. It is considered. Let me just say it like that. But right now we're focusing totally on our new hardware platform.
Yeah. So Frederick is next. For speech intelligibility measurement, will the new TMX core be compatible with the Dolby D2B format?
D2B, I have not any answer for that currently. I know Pavel is on the line somewhere, but I don't know if we have talked about that. Dolby D2B.
Okay. So we'll get back to you.
Because say I compatible. What does compatible? I think I would say that. I mean, my gut feeling would be a no, because this Fraunhofer speech intelligibility. If you talk about speech intelligibility from Fraunhofer, if that's what we're talking about, then it's totally independent from Dolby. I could say 100% independent. It's a self-contained research project that has been going on for many years. There's heavy documentation for it. But it does not include Dolby. If you are referring to some of the Dolby Dialog intelligence measurements, then that has been made in cooperation with Dolby, and there might be something there that I need to have a look at.
Okay. Price slide, Thomas. I think you need to show it again. It was very quick. I have to say that.
Everything has been quick, Carl.
So yeah, that's a pricing slide, Matthew. So maybe to make that clear, I mean the base unit, as you see it there, the Ravenna and the Dante, or the AES16 or AES8 and Analog 8. We have now only, we have actually licenses for the TMX core, but the licensing scheme is very different to the current touch monitor model. So the only licenses we offer are the immersive instruments and the speech intelligibility license, both at 995, and then you can add network displays with licenses, up to 3 network displays. But all the other features, so all you know from the compact line, all you know from TM5 is already included. All the loudness stuff, all the multi-channel real-time analyzer, and premium PPM, as we call it on the classic touch monitor, the loudness chart. This is all already included in the base unit, so it will be a completely different licensing scheme, and therefore also makes justifies the price point, which is indeed higher than for the current TM. But the current TM, if you buy a TM7 in the base version, you can basically do stereo metering, but that's it. So yeah, once you have the price list, you will see how that works.
Yeah, I would add to that. If you look at the sales of the classic touch monitor and take an average of what people pay for it, including the licenses they need, and compare that to the basic version of TMX Core, which has all that functionality already built in as a basic license, you probably end up at more or less the same price point, actually. So we are more or less looking at the same pricing. But as Carl said, we have changed the licensing structure significantly to make it much more simple. There are no dependencies. If you have license A, you need to have license B, blah, blah, blah. All that is gone. It's simple. I would say, as I said, yeah, pricing compares to the classic version, and I would also say we will be coming out with a comparison chart between the different platforms that we have here, both the compact line, the TMX Core, and the classic TM, so you can get an overview of what you get with each of the instruments.
Yeah. When will the network display become available for TM5 and TC5?
October.
Okay, so shortly after NAB, Jonathan.
We will be displaying it at the RTW booth, and we will release it as soon as we can. It's up and running. It's been tested for a long time, so it's not there. But it's going to be a significant update also to the compact line. There's going to be a lot of other new detailed stuff I haven't covered here. It's going to be a really big update for compact line also. But we go for October right now, so shortly after IBC.
Yeah. Then second question from Matthew. Any thoughts on a lower cost radio version? Maybe I can take that one. I mean, our product portfolio, I mean, you have the TM5, and the TM5 with the network display could be the lower cost radio version, in quotation marks, if you want to put it like that. But what you also need to keep in mind with the TMX Core, you have one core, and this core could replace several TM7s that you have in your broadcasting station at the moment. So, I mean, if you have one core in a server room or in a studio complex, I mean, you could open several browser windows and therefore, replace several TMs with this one core. This could also be a cost-saving measure.
Yeah, if you're running stereo, it could replace 8.
Yeah. Just to keep that in mind. Yes. How many? Several TMs. Yeah, sorry.
It's 8. So with one core, you could cover an entire radio station with 8 channels.
Yeah, but you can only have 3 additional network displays. So you can only show in total. Thomas?
No. You can you can show any number of channels in each display. So if your screen size allows it, you can have, let's say you had 8 stereo channels. You can put 8 stereo channels on one display and show them all. You can have. This gets a little bit complex because it's quite the functionality is quite comprehensive with this one. We work with views and we work with screens, and so let's just say one screen can contain 3 views. You would know that from the compact from the Touch Control 5, right? You can define 3 views. One with monitor control, one with leveling, one with metering, or you can combine them, but you have 3 kind of views that you can scroll between, right? You can scroll between 3 views. And you'll have that on TMX Core in the basic version, so 3 views. And you can basically place those 3 views on 3 different monitors. The screen adds another set of views to that screen, and another set, and another set. So depending on what you add to it and CPU consumption and network, blah, 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 you can get up to like 12 different screens if you want out of one, and then add actually the physical display also. That would be a lot of screens from one box. Let's just say it like that. It's really comprehensive.
Yes. So yeah, there was a question: how many? Several TMs? Yes. I mean, Martin, if you're at IBC, we can go through that in detail and explain you what we can exactly do with one TMX core, what the options are. Piotr, do you use the same merging interface for audio over IP Ravenna as with the TM series?
Yes.
Yes, we do. It's the Z-Man module. Okay, 1 second. Okay, TMX Core can be connected to SMPTE 2110 orchestration for audio monitoring. Can, question mark. Can you please give an idea on this? Can TMX Core be connected to ST2110 orchestration for audio monitoring? Can you please give an idea on this?
As far as I remember, it can with the Setman card. Because it has discovery. I would say yes, but I'd need to double check to be absolutely sure. But I think that's part of the NMOS thing.
Okay. Then, Pat, can the solution be hosted on COTS hardware if we don't need any I/O?
COT.
Off-the-shelf hardware like Dell service or something like that.
Off the shelf, of course. No, we don't provide. We don't sell the license. We don't sell the software independent of the hardware. We like very much to be in control of the hardware also. We are a measurement company, and we do need to the extent we can, still providing the flexibility that broadcasters ask for, to be on top of as much as we can of what's going on with regards to the measurements. But it is a relevant question.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Okay, I think that concludes it for now, guys. Hey, it was fantastic to see so many of you. We hope to see you at IBC. Yeah, it's next week. And hey, if you have questions, if questions come up, I guess you have my email or this car's email. So hey, keep the questions coming. But I would like to say thank you for today and see you at IBC. Bye-bye.
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 Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the presentation.
Bye-bye.
It was very
Thank you. Bye-bye.
eye-opening.
Okay. See you next week.
Bye-bye. Have a
Bye.
nice trip.
Bye-bye.
Bye, CTG. Bye.
Bye-bye.